Hey, Johnny.
Hello, Brian. How are we, sir?
Good, man. Good to see you.
I tell you what, it's this has come along beautiful time for me because I very recently completed listening to A Life in Parts, and there's a sense when I finish like an autobiography or a film or a book where you almost go in mourning for the kind of the persona you've lost in that time. You know, on my runs, you've been there, going to the shops, you've been there, wherever it's been. Do you ever feel like that with parts you play, with books you read and shows you watch? That kind of sense of loss afterwards.
Absolutely. Especially if the energy is so condensed. I remember hosting a program in the States called Saturday Night Live, and it is a madhouse. The whole week, it is just one crazy day after another, and it's just the intensity and tension just goes like you're on a hamster wheel, and it's incredible, and day after night, and you're sleeping a couple hours, and you're up, and you're thinking, and you're another sketch, and you're reading, and then all of a sudden Sunday morning you wake up after the live show and you're still vibrating, but no one's calling you, no one, and you're it's like and there's a little bit of a depression going on because it was so important for one week and then it's over.
They
And
say that about the stage and comedians, of course, are up there on the stage all the time and all that adrenaline, and then suddenly you come to the end of your run and it's Friday night now. It's we sit in, we have a glass of wine. How do we use all that energy?
I was doing a play at the National there in London, and you do a play and you have a long run. If the play is good, there's a heavy emotional content to it, right? So every performance, you're giving it all, and you're going through an emotional upheaval every single performance, and you get exhausted. It's far more exhausting for an actor to do a play on a regular run than it is to do 14, 15 hours on a movie every day.
Speaking of plays, actually, I was to drop her name. I was speaking to Kate Blanchett a couple of weeks ago, and I referenced your autobiography because I talked about when you were preparing to play LBJ on the stage and the anxiety you went through in those weeks leading up to it, the fear you had about whether you could cram all of this information and this performance into your brain before going out there and delivering it to the world. And in the context of her new film Tar, she talked about how it's important to feel like that, even when you're having to learn German and learn how to conduct and learn how to play the piano, to be put there on the screen. When was the last time you felt like that kind of deep-rooted anxiety about a job you're doing?
Well, I mean, you brought up doing that play where I was playing a president of the United States, and all that comes with it, and the amount of biographies and an autobiography is plethora, and so you're going through it, trying to invite that character to come live within inside you, and then you have the logistical task of learning all the lines, and it was like, oh my god, and it can crush you a bit. I'm doing a movie soon where I need to learn how to play the bagpipes a little bit, so that's, oh, okay. And then but like what Kate is saying is something that I think most actors feel, is that if I'm fearful of a role, that's a good sign. If something scares me, there's probably a reason why. I'm going to be challenged. I'm going to be entering into something I don't know, and hopefully become good enough at to where I can believably present this as an authentic performance. And that's our real goal, is just to feel like we're authentic in what we're presenting for the audience.
Well, speaking of fear, there's plenty of it in the start of series 2 of Your Honor. Just the recap itself is quite kind of gut wrenching. It gives you abdominal pain seeing all of the things like crammed in from series 1, which leads you into what feels like a very different scenario in this one. But for people who haven't seen it, and to go back to your autobiography, you used to give a rating out of 10 for kind of scripts, for directors attached, for how excited you were about the part, for each new thing that came through your door. what did he give your honor? Why did you get involved?
Well, I did come up with a system that helped me navigate through that. And I don't have the paperwork in it, but it must have been very high for me to accept it, number one, and there is a criteria for it. The thing that really got me about Your Honor was, as a parent myself, the question of this: what would you do to save the life of your child? And any loving parent, anywhere, whatever language you speak, whatever country you come, whatever political affiliation you ascribe to, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, I would do anything to save the life of my child. And that was the inciting incident that got me interested in playing Michael Desiato in Your Honor. Is my character makes an impulsive decision, one that he knows is going to be fraught with difficulty, in order to save the life of my child. I honestly believe that my child's life is in jeopardy and I need to protect him. That quick decision then spirals, and I have to make another decision, another lie to back up the first lie, to the second lie, and pretty soon you're lying and you're deceiving and you're manipulating, and all in the intention to save the life of your child, but you're compromising your soul and your principles. And that's what happens to my character, is that he loses his soul.
Going to these extreme lengths, we've seen you cover so many different emotions in characters. And I just wondered today, when are you happiest in acting? Which kind of area are you the most satisfied when you're on set or on stage? What kind of gets Bryan Cranston going?
Well, those are two different questions, because, Jonny, what makes me the happiest is not always what is the most satisfying. It can be, but it's not always. Just on the surface of it, when I do a comedy, it's so much fun. Your job is to go to work and make people laugh, including yourselves. And you breeze through the day and you've had so many laughs, and it's a great expression, and you feel uplifted, and it's great. And if you're making a movie at the same time, oh my, this is just the greatest time. But whatever project you're doing, I'm not seeking happiness as much as that artistic satisfaction. Did we accomplish what I had hoped to accomplish? And I want to start everything with raising the bar higher than I think I can go, and try like hell to try to get to that level. And you don't always make it. But the important point is that you have it. You have that target that is hard to reach, because you don't want to tread on the same grounds that you've done before. You want to take on a new character with new demands, new challenges, and see yourself growing as an artist. You cannot just stay in the same lane, to me, and do the same character one after another, after another, after another. It's easy that way, and you can certainly be rewarded, but I don't think you can be artistically rewarded, maybe financially, but I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me.
Well, speaking about being rewarded or satisfied, it's certainly been nice to have you in my ears again after what's been a very dark couple of weeks without you. Hopefully I'll catch you on series 3, or certainly in projects in the future. But good luck with it. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you, Jonny. I appreciate that. Good to see you.
Have a great year, my man.
Too.